Before this video starts, I want to say that I did not expect to spend so much time making the JARCOM finale videos. The original idea was to make a compilation of all the last maps I played before FE2 community maps Legacy closed down into 2023. I ended up expanding on that idea to make this video, and when I can, the continuation of this video. I really underestimated the time it would take for me to edit this video. I don't want to spend so long editing this video as I have other videos I want to make, especially this time of the year. I decided to simplify my editing at some point in this video to disregard small details so I would edit faster. I want to add on that I poorly planned the making of the JARCOM finale, and that might be apparent with the reviews. Improvised voiceovers are something that's experimental to me, as I would always script them. The scripting, however, would take a lot longer, so I did not want that. I may sound like I'm trashing on the maps, but that isn't my intention. I apologize in advance to any map creators. My reviews are a lot better if I plan them out, so this is something I have learned. I hope this is still alright. Let's get into the video.
It is time for the ported map compilation. To recap, I'll have mini reviews of these maps as I show them. If any creators want me to provide a more detailed and constructive feedback of any maps featured here, feel free to contact me on Discord. Let's just get straight into them, starting off with the JARCOM 17, which is the oldest one in this channel. I don't really know much about the history of GAM's older maps, but it's pretty cool that you can see that they improved with map making over the years. I think the details look alright, especially for its time. The gameplay, on the other hand, it was a bit confusing, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, the gameplay was it was pretty decent, especially for an easy map. This map has really gorgeous details, and I really love the lighting. I really like the overall atmosphere of this map, especially with the OST. I really like the vibe of it. It's really chill and fits the map pretty well. You can see in the map that there's a skybox of the Earth, and you can tell that you're like somewhere very distant in space. This map feels very open, but at the same time, it doesn't feel confusing. You can easily tell where to go, which is a pretty nice thing. I really hope that the map gets added in the game at some point. It definitely has a unique charm to it. gameplay is pretty confusing. You can easily tell that the lighting has been messed up by this map being ported. There's quite a lot of awkward jumps in the map and repetitive jumps. There isn't really anything else I can say about this map. This map feels a bit lackluster. This map is outstanding. I really like the details of this map. This map has a lot of orange in its color scheme, and yet it still looks really appealing to look at. I also like the use of environment, like the branches as obstacles and stuff like the temple type of uh, pillars and the statue. This map was really enjoyable to play, even though it was pretty difficult. The difficulty is it's pretty consistent, except for the swimming section. I really despise the swimming section. That's such a difficulty spike because it leaves you with like insanely low oxygen, and you really have to air dive to not die there. The swimming section isn't really a good part because the way it transitions is a little bit awkward. You have to immediately react to the wooden obstacles, and just tiny adjustments that you make are really detrimental to your chances of survival. I think my favorite part of this map is the final room with the collapsing rocks. Overall, I really like this map, and I hope it gets added to the game. This map is pretty decent. The details look alright. I can't really say much things about the design though, because it pretty much looks the same throughout the entire map. It doesn't look terrible though, but it also doesn't look anything appealing. It simply works for the theme though. I have noticed that this map uses a lot of squares and rectangles. It feels kinda off-putting. There isn't much platforms with circular edges. The gameplay is pretty decent as well. I like the OST of this map though. I think it fits the map, but it's somewhat repetitive. It's not bad though. Overall, it's a pretty simple and short map, but still the creator put effort in this map. This map also has fine details, but what I really don't like is how there's a glow that's pretty off-putting, since it's a nature themed map, but there's stuff like the Goei trusses and the boxes, which seems like they would belong in a more sci-fi type of map. The gameplay is also okay. I don't really like how the trees obstruct your view of the path though in some areas. This whole inside part reminds me of Aquatic Reservoir by GAM73. I like that this map takes inspiration from that map, but the thing is, it doesn't quite work as well as the map, since it's a little bit confusing and there's a lot of turns that you have to do. And for an easy map, that's a bit, it's a bit complex for its difficulty. Overall, it's a it's an okay map. You may know this map as Marhill. It was just renamed to Lush Reserve. Anyways, this map's details, it pretty much looks the same to the entirety. The gameplay is really straightforward and pretty simple. There's quite a lot of walking in this map. There could have been more gameplay added to those walking areas and empty spaces. The music choice, I think, is actually pretty good. The music choice plays a good role in setting the tone of the map when the map doesn't do it itself. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about this map. It's just pretty lackluster and a bit empty. I think that this is one of Willow's best maps. I love the details in this map. It feels a bit atmospheric. The music choice really helps set that calming atmosphere. The gameplay feels decent. The lighting is also pretty good. I like how warm it is. It really fits with the calming nature of the map. The path always switches up to being linear and non-linear. It's always a good thing in maps to have that variety. Overall, this is, I would say it's a good map. There's nothing else I could really say about it though. It leans more into simplicity, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and it really works with this map. Classic Heights has a really good theme going on. It feels nostalgic in a way. I really like how everything is blocky and it's in the style of old Roblox. The gameplay is pretty decent, I would say. The music choice of this map isn't really the best, because it sounds like electronic music, and from what I've seen, from what I've looked through on YouTube, on older videos, this map used the original version of the music that's playing, and that original version had a more old school video game, sort of like 8-bit type of music, and I think that fits more than the current one. But I like the attempt of making an old Roblox styled FE2 map. The remake, however, expands on the theme of the map, and it does it so well. The color scheme looks much nicer to the eyes and looks more appealing. It looks like it has a more cartoony appearance while mixing the old Roblox style which I really like. Yeah, I really like how they blended that together. Really like how there's mountains in the distance, which makes the map feel more complete and feels like you're actually in that map. There's more variety with the structures in this remake that resemble old Roblox. I find it funny how the tycoon conveyor actually moves you. It's a pretty good remake. I really like the improvement. This remake to the original Felicitation is such a glow up. I really like the color scheme. It's really appealing. The details are just spot on and the gameplay is nice. It wasn't too hard to sight read. The original soundtrack for this map is really nice. It gives the map a really refreshing atmosphere and it really enhanced the enjoyment of the map. Overall, I didn't really see any issues with this map, so I would say it's a pretty great map. Oh, this map is so old. Thank you ShadokuSan for bringing this map back. It's so nostalgic. This map has a unique charm to it. Even though it may look bland, it just has the right details that sells the theme. The lighting fits the map pretty well. The music choice is spectacular. It really makes you feel like you're adventuring this mysterious tomb, and it has a sense of threat to it. This map has so much walking, but at this point, it doesn't matter because this is an old map. All I care about with this map is the nostalgia. I really liked seeing all of those structures and those creatures. I don't know if there are free models in this map, but even if there are, this map still remains to be one of the most nostalgic maps in this game. And all of the details have been well put together. It's not every day that you see mystical creatures in a Floodscape 2 map. And it's great to see that Shadoku-san is still in the community with us. Huh? What is this? I'm not bringing this map back. Cry about it? What the fuck? This map has a really basic and bland design. I think it overuses trees so much to the point that it kinda ruins the sight readability of the map, especially at the speed up parts. I still somewhat enjoyed playing the map. I guess the music choice is alright. It does make you feel hype and energetic when playing the map, especially on the speed up parts. But I don't know if anything else would have fitted the map better. That's pretty much all I want to say. I really like the details of this map. The gameplay is nice, but it's a little bit confusing. I think the lighting looks nice, but at some parts it looks pretty dark, which slightly hurts the sight readability of the map. Stuff like the trusses blending in the darkness is an example of the lighting not being the best. The lighting does make the map look appealing though. The use of glow in the map doesn't feel overwhelming, and it just feels like it has been done just right. I really like the music choice in this map. It feels really calming and fits the evening type of atmosphere this map has. I believe this map was inspired by Death Run, especially its older version. It makes the map more refreshing to play. Overall, I would say this is a pretty decent map. Club Crazy is a pretty simple map. The details look fine, but I think it uses the same platforms too much. This is really evident at the outside portion of the map. The gameplay was also alright. There's plenty of walking, but the map is also pretty short, so I don't really mind that. Overall, a simple map. There's nothing really else I could talk about. This map has really awkward gameplay, but that's pretty reasonable for its time. It was also pretty confusing. I think the use of glow for this map is pretty overwhelming. It doesn't seem to fit the theme of the map. It's pretty nostalgic though. Unfortunately, this map is broken because there's a wall that doesn't open. It's a shame because I really want to play through the entire map just for the nostalgia. That's all I could say about this map. This is such a good remake. I really like all of the color combinations. I think they're all very appealing. The details look pretty nice. There's a lot of variety with the terrain. The lighting is also really well done. The gameplay is a little bit confusing though. The sight readability isn't the best for this map. There were many parts that I got confused on, especially the last room. I think there needs to be more indication when it comes to the backtracking. And finally, I really like the OST for this map. It's honestly one of the best FE2 original soundtracks that I've listened to. Every section of the OST flows really well, and it really fits the atmosphere of the map. There is a gripe that I have with this map though, and it's that if you fall in the last room, the lava hasn't covered the floor yet, so you have to wait for a while to die, or you just reset, which is pretty annoying. It's just agonizing to be down there waiting for your death. Overall, this map is pretty good. Sakura Cliffside is the rename of an old noomlek map called Sakura Gate. It's a nice looking map with great scenery, but it's confusing at some parts. I really hate when maps do the double arrows thing. It makes you confused whether you go left or right if the path isn't obvious. The original soundtrack fits the map well, and I think this is one of Finn's best original soundtracks. The gameplay doesn't really offer that much. There's plenty of walking, as expected in an easy map. Overall, this is a pretty decent map. This is another good noomlek remake. So I'm just gonna straight up say that the original soundtrack for this map slaps so hard. It's definitely up there for one of the best Planescape 2 soundtracks. This map has good details. It's not anything too fancy, but it just works. The gameplay is incredibly enjoyable, and combine the gameplay with the original soundtrack, it's just awesome. I love how I'm a tea drinker made references to Fire Aura, which is a really classic song, and he even blended it with the Ignis Peaks original soundtrack, which I thought was a pretty good combination. I think the sight readability could have been better though, especially in the room where the escape is. There are arrows on the floor that point to you where to go, but they're so small that it's hard to spot them, especially on your first playthrough. I think the difficulty in this map was consistent. Overall, this is a really excellent remake. noomlek did a great job. the Overdrive 2024 update is a good update. I feel like it makes the map more enjoyable to play. There are also more decorations in this update that makes the map look better. This update also made the difficulty of the map much harder, but I think that makes it more fun actually. The pacing was pretty frustrating though, because it's pretty strict. You have to make it at a certain point before a platform falls down. I had some gripes with the map though. The jumps just before the second button feels a bit awkward to do since they're so close to each other and the slopes make it pretty unreliable. The next gripe that I have is that there's an exploding button and it has no indication that it will be an exploding button. I think there should be some sort of indication because on multiplayer that is a grip button and there is a chance that the person that is slightly behind might die from it, not knowing that it's an exploding button, which makes it a bit unfair for them. There is camera manipulation on the zipline that takes you to the cave section. The zipline goes really fast and the transition from the camera angle to your fixed camera position is very sudden, and on your first playthrough, that might catch you off guard. Despite all the things that I said, this map is still great. This is not a bad map in any means. It's just that it feels really straightforward and it doesn't seem to have much variety with the gameplay. There are many jumps in this map where it just feels the same. I think it's because they are all simple jumps. The map also feels linear in a way. There's just a lack of variety. The site readability on this map is pretty decent. Now with the details, I think it has a really simple design. The same colors are applied throughout the entirety of the map and it gets repetitive. The music choice is fine. It fits the desert theme. Overall, this map is alright. The remake of Closing Hours is outstanding. The details are just spot on, and they make the map feel so alive and colorful. It's such a joy to play this map, especially with the original soundtrack. The original soundtrack feels so jazzy and it just feels so fun to listen to. I think it fits the mall theme pretty well. All of the colors in this map flow really nicely together. They make the map really visually appealing. There's so much variation with the decorations in this map. The gameplay is pretty decent. There is a lot of variety with the jumps and movement. Although there's plenty of walking, but at this point I don't mind it because this map just looks so good to look at and the OST just makes you relaxed. It really enhances your experience of this map. Overall, this is a fantastic remake. I really like the map's slick design. I really like the wall designs and the wall textures. The main problem with this map though is that it's just so confusing. There's a very lack of indication in this map. There's just so many routes that you can take due to the entire map being set in just one room. I really like its take on the Extreme Room 3 concept for Floodski 1. I feel like this map has references to some rooms in Floodski 1. Feels somewhat nostalgic to play. The gameplay on some parts of the map feels really awkward to do though. There are parts where there are small spaces, makes it feel like a struggle to get through them. And also this map doesn't flow that well. There are so many turns in this map, and there is a lot of backtracking in this map. And I think the backtracking is part of the reason why it's really confusing. Overall, this is an interesting take on the Extreme Room 3 concept, but its execution is really mediocre.